In Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals at Madison Square Garden, Siakam didn't just lead the Indiana Pacers to a 114-109 win. He ripped the game away from the Knicks, possession by possession, and may have ripped out New York's belief in the process. Because what Siakam did in those 48 minutes wasn't normal. It wasn't expected, and it's something the Knicks were in no way prepared for. He opened the game like a man already in rhythm. Indiana's first 11 points belonged to him. Floaters, spins, face-ups, off-balance finishes. He didn't feel out the defense, he attacked it. By the end of the first quarter, he had 16 points on 6 of 7 shooting. The Pacers trailed, but you couldn't tell it by watching him. Siakam wasn't waiting for his spot, he was already in it. New York had answers early. Jalen Brunson kept them steady. OG Anunoby, back from a hamstring injury that sidelined him in Game 1, gave them defensive structure. They held a 52-49 lead at halftime, and the Garden crowd was locked in. This felt like a war that was just getting started. But Siakam never cooled off. By the end of the third, he had 29. He wasn't hitting circus shots. He was just getting to his spots faster than New York could rotate. The Knicks tried everyone. Isaiah Hartenstein couldn't contain him in space. Anunoby, still limited physically, struggled with Siakam's first step. Even when they double-teamed, Siakam punished it with quick kickouts and cutbacks. He wasn't just scoring, he was breaking the game apart. And then came the stretch that changed everything. Tied at 81 early in the fourth, Indiana ripped off an 11-2 run. It was sudden, sharp, and surgical. Siakam drilled a pull-up three from the left wing. Ben Shepherd hit another from the opposite side. Then Siakam cut through 3 defenders on a delayed curl, finished through contact, and let the Garden know about it. The Pacers were up 94-85, and the building went quiet. Siakam wasn't screaming, he wasn't pounding his chest. He just stared, calm, locked in. New York fans had seen this before, from LeBron, from Trey, from Reggie. But this was Pascal Siakam, a second option turned centerpiece, who just delivered the best playoff performance of his career when the moment demanded it. He finished with 39 points on 15 of 21 shooting, surpassing his previous playoff high of 37. That alone was impressive, but the context made it historic. On the road, in Madison Square Garden, in the Eastern Conference Finals, against one of the league's most physical defenses. This wasn't just a scoring outburst, this was a takeover. Magic Johnson tweeted within minutes of the buzzer, "Pascal Siakam just played one of the best playoff games I've seen in years. Absolutely brilliant." That was the tone around the league. Respect, shock, and recalibration. Because no one had picked the Pacers to win this series in 5. And after stealing both games in New York, that's suddenly on the table. The Knicks pushed back late. Brunson scored 5 straight to cut it to 110-107 with under 90 seconds to play. But the Pacers didn't blink. Miles Turner hit 2 clutch free throws. Siakam sealed it with a high-arching floater over Anunoby that rolled in off the glass. That was the dagger. That was the night. After the game, Rick Carlisle kept it simple. "Pascal gave us everything," he said. "He controlled the game. He played like a star." The Knicks had no answers. Anunoby gave them 16 points, but he was clearly labouring. Brunson finished with 36, but most of it came in bursts, not when they needed a steady hand. Towns had 20, and the bench offered little. Their defence, so connected against Philly, looked a step behind all night. This was supposed to be the game where New York responded. Instead, they got punched harder than in Game 1, and this time, the fingerprints weren't Halliburton's. They were Siakam's, all over the paint, all over the perimeter, and now all over the Pacers' momentum. Indiana has now won 6 straight road playoff games. They head back to Gainbridge Fieldhouse up 2-0, with a chance to bury New York completely. What Pascal Siakam did in Game 2 wasn't just a career night. It was a shift in the series dynamic, and maybe even a shift in how the league views this Indiana Pacers team. After Siakam dropped 39 at MSG to push the Pacers up 2-0, the internet lit up. NBA fans weren't just reacting to the performance, they were reacting to the fact that no one saw this coming. "Siakam's cooking in the Garden like it's a Tuesday night in Toronto," one viral post joked. "This isn't even his team, and he's out here torching the Knicks," read another. And that's the twist. This isn't supposed to be Siakam's team, it's Tyrese Halliburton's. But for one night, Halliburton didn't have to carry the load. He played more facilitator than star, finishing with 14 points and 11 assists, content to ride Siakam's wave. And that balance, where Halliburton doesn't have to go nuclear for Indiana to win, might be the most dangerous thing in this series. The Knicks, meanwhile, looked stunned. After 2 straight losses on their home floor, the mood inside Madison Square Garden turned from anxious to angry. Just like in Game 1, when Obi Toppin dunked in the final seconds to ice the game, you could feel the tension shift from the floor to the seats. Fans didn't boo, they just left, fast. On ESPN's postgame show, Stephen A. Smith let it fly. "I've seen a lot of playoff beatdowns at the Garden, but this one's surgical. The Knicks looked like they were getting processed. Siakam played like a grown man among boys. It wasn't just Siakam's stat line that hurt, it was how he did it. The Knicks couldn't keep him out of the paint. They couldn't stop him in transition. They couldn't match his tempo. Anunoby gave effort, but was visibly limited. Hartenstein got beat in space. Towns looked unsure of his role defensively. New York's interior collapsed possession by possession, and nobody stepped up to plug the holes. What's worse? Indiana didn't even shoot lights out from 3, they just executed. Their ball movement was tight, their spacing was clean. Every possession looked intentional. It wasn't explosive, it was methodical. And the Knicks had no counter. The Pacers now return home with a 2-game cushion, a fully confident core, and a crowd that knows they're watching something real. They haven't trailed in the series, they haven't blinked under pressure, and now they've outplayed the East's hottest team twice in the most hostile building in basketball. Game 3 is now a must-win for New York, not just to save the series, but to save face. Because if Indiana keeps executing like this, and Siakam keeps playing like the best player on the floor, this won't be a comeback story.